Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluent English with Podcast. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alan. Today we have a fantastic topic to improve your English today.
Are you looking to improve your English listening and speaking skills? This podcast is the perfect place for you. We use everyday conversations and interesting stories to help you learn English in a fun and engaging way.
Exactly. By listening to natural conversations and following along with the stories, you can improve your understanding of spoken English and learn new vocabulary words and phrases.
Today's episode is a little different. We're going to be talking about a topic that can be a bit tricky: staying friends with your ex.
We all know breakups can be tough, but sometimes you and your ex might decide to stay friends.
We've both had experiences with exes. Alan, did you ever stay friends with an ex?
Actually, yes, we dated in high school, and even though things didn't work out romantically, we stayed good friends. We just grew apart as we got older, but it was nice to have that connection for a while.
That's great. I, on the other hand, haven't really stayed friends with any of my exes. It just felt too awkward for me.
That's okay too, Sophie. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to staying friends with your ex. It really depends on the situation.
Exactly. Today we're going to explore this topic further. We'll hear from some listeners about their experiences with exes, and we'll also listen to a few short conversations that show how this topic can come up in everyday life.
Before we get started, let's learn some vocabulary words that might be helpful for today's episode.
Ex, a former romantic partner.
Stay friends, to remain friends with someone after a romantic relationship ends.
Breakup, the end of a romantic relationship.
Awkward, uncomfortable, or embarrassing.
Move on. To start to think about and deal with things that happened in the past.
Now, let's hear from our first listener, Rose. Rose, tell us a little bit about your experience with staying friends with an ex-boyfriend.
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Alan. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, Rose. We're excited to hear your story. You mentioned you stayed friends with an ex?
Yeah, that's right. We dated for 2.5 years, but in the end, we realized we wanted different things for the future. It was a really tough decision, but we both knew it was the right thing to do.
That sounds like a mature way to handle the situation. Was it easy to transition from a romantic relationship to a friendship?
Honestly, it wasn't a smooth ride at first. There were definitely some awkward moments, especially when we'd see each other out with other people. It took a while to adjust to that new dynamic.
How did you manage those awkward moments, Rose?
Well, we talked about it openly and honestly. We both agreed that we valued our friendship and didn't want to lose it just because our romantic relationship ended. So we decided to take things slow and give each other some space at first.
That makes perfect sense. Communication is key in any relationship, but especially after a breakup. Did you find it difficult to see your ex dating other people?
Not gonna lie, it stung a little at first. But seeing him happy with someone new actually helped me move on and accept that our relationship was over. It also showed me that we could still care about each other even though we weren't together romantically.
That's a great point, Rose. It sounds like you and your ex were able to build a strong foundation of friendship after the breakup. Are you still friends today?
Absolutely. It's been almost a year since we broke up and we're still close. We don't talk every day, but we check in with each other regularly and offer support when the other person needs it.
That's a fantastic story, Rose. Thanks for sharing your experience with our listeners. As you can see, staying friends with an ex can be successful, but it takes effort, communication, and a healthy dose of understanding.
Absolutely. Now let's listen to a conversation that shows how this topic can come up in everyday life.
Hey, Betty. There you are. Fancy seeing you here.
Nancy? Wow, what a surprise. How are things?
Great, thanks. Actually, this is David, my new fiancé. David, this is Betty, a good friend from high school.
Hi, Betty. Nice to meet you.
Hi, David. Nice to meet you too. Congratulations on the engagement, Nancy. That's fantastic news.
Thanks, Betty. So what are you up to these days?
Oh, the usual work, friends, trying to navigate this crazy city. Speaking of friends, have you seen Michael lately?
Actually, no. Things haven't been great between us since the breakup. How about you? Are you still in touch with him?
Yeah, believe it or not. We decided to give friendship a try after things ended.
Wow. Really? Michael and friendship? That's hard to imagine.
I know, right? But honestly, it's been working out okay. We don't talk every day, but we check in with each other sometimes.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought Michael was the friend after dating type.
Yeah, me neither. But hey, everyone's different, right?
Absolutely. Maybe it just depends on the situation.
So, as you heard in that conversation, staying friends with an ex can be a topic that pops up unexpectedly.
Exactly. This conversation shows how some people, like Betty and Michael, can find success in staying friends after a breakup, even if it seems surprising.
Right. It all depends on the specific people involved and the nature of their relationship.
After hearing Rose's story and the conversation between Betty and Nancy, we have a better understanding of how staying friends with an ex can play out in different ways. Now, let's hear from another listener, David. David, tell us about your experience with staying friends with an ex.
Hey, Sophie. Hey, Alan. Thanks for having me.
No problem, David. So you mentioned you have experience staying friends with an ex?
Yeah, that's right. I dated this girl, Sarah, for about a year in college. We had a lot in common, but ultimately we just wanted different things in life. So we decided to break up but stay friends.
Interesting. Was that an easy decision to make?
Not really. There were definitely some mixed emotions at first, but we talked about it openly and agreed that we still valued our friendship.
Communication is key. Did you find it challenging to navigate the friendship at times?
For sure. There were some awkward moments, especially when one of us started dating someone new. But we were always honest with each other and respected each other's boundaries.
That sounds important. How long did you stay friends with Sarah?
Actually, we're still friends. It's been over 5 years since we broke up. We don't talk every day, but we catch up occasionally and offer support when needed.
That's a great story, David. It shows that staying friends with an ex can be a long-term success.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing your experience, David. Now, let's hear from another listener with a contrasting experience. Daniel, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Sophie. Hey, Alan. Thanks for having me.
The pleasure's ours, Daniel. You mentioned you tried staying friends with a former partner?
Yeah, that's right. I was with this amazing girl, Lisa, for almost 2 years. The breakup itself was brutal. We had a deep connection, but our life goals just didn't align. Despite the heartache, we both felt a strong emotional bond and decided to give friendship a shot.
Interesting. Did it end up working out for you both?
Unfortunately, no. There were just too many unresolved emotions swirling around, especially on my end. Honestly, I still had strong feelings for Lisa, and seeing her move on with other guys was incredibly difficult to stomach. At first, I tried to be nonchalant, but jealousy kept creeping in. I'd downplay it, but it inevitably came out during conversations, leading to arguments.
That's completely understandable, Daniel. It sounds like you were honest with yourself about your lingering feelings for Lisa, but navigating those feelings within a friendship proved challenging.
Exactly. The more I tried to act casual, the more my true feelings bubbled up. Lisa, bless her heart, was patient at first. She tried to reassure me that we could still be friends, but it just wasn't working. We both realized that seeing each other, even as friends, kept reopening the emotional wound of the breakup.
It sounds like you and Lisa reached a mature conclusion together. Sometimes a clean break allows for more effective healing.
Absolutely. It took a while, but I eventually moved on and started dating again. Looking back, I realized staying friends with Lisa wasn't the healthiest choice for me at that particular time. I needed space to process everything and truly move on. Maybe someday down the line, if our paths cross again and we've both completely healed, a friendship could be possible. But for now, the clean break was the right decision.
That's a valuable perspective, Daniel. Your experience highlights the fact that staying friends with an ex isn't always achievable or even desirable. It requires a lot of honesty, self-awareness, and emotional maturity from both parties.
Exactly. Thanks for sharing your story, Daniel. It's important to explore different perspectives on this complex topic. Now, we'll explore the challenges that can make this type of friendship difficult, and we'll hear a conversation that illustrates this point.
Let's start with a common challenge. Unresolved feelings. If one person still harbors romantic feelings, it can create tension and jealousy, making friendship nearly impossible.
Hey, Sarah, there you are. How are you doing?
Hey Liam, surprised to see you. I'm okay, thanks. And you?
Yeah, good. Listen, I know things haven't been easy between us since the breakup, but I miss you, Sarah. I was hoping we could maybe grab coffee sometime and catch up as friends.
Liam, I appreciate you reaching out, but honestly, it's still too difficult for me. Seeing you just brings back too many memories.
But we were such good friends before we started dating. Can't we just go back to that?
I wish it were that easy, Liam. But things have changed. I still have feelings for you, and being around you as just a friend is confusing and painful.
Come on, Sarah, you can't hold on to this forever.
Maybe not, but I need time to heal. Right now, some space is best for both of us.
Fine, but if you ever change your mind, you know where to find me.
As you heard in that conversation, Liam still has strong feelings for Sarah, which makes it difficult for them to be just friends. This is a common challenge that can prevent an ex-relationship from transitioning to a successful friendship.
Absolutely. Sometimes a clean break is necessary to allow both people to move on and heal from the emotional wounds of the breakup.
Exactly. There are definitely some challenges and benefits to consider when navigating this type of friendship.
Let's start with the challenges. One big hurdle can be unresolved feelings. If one person still harbors romantic feelings for the other, it can make friendship difficult and even painful.
Absolutely. It's important to be honest with yourself and your ex about your emotions. If there are still lingering feelings, it might be best to take some time apart before attempting friendship.
Another challenge is jealousy. Seeing your ex with someone new can be tough, even if you genuinely want them to be happy. Open communication and respecting boundaries are key here.
Spot on. It's also important to remember that your friendship with your ex will likely look different from your previous romantic relationship. There might be less frequent contact and different topics of conversation.
Now, let's talk about the benefits. If you can successfully navigate the challenges, staying friends with an ex can be a rewarding experience.
You can still have that person in your life as a friend and confidant, someone who knows you well. This can be especially valuable if you shared a long history together.
Exactly. A healthy ex-friendship can also help you move on from the romantic relationship and open yourself up to new possibilities in your dating life.
Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to stay friends with an ex is a personal one. There's no right or wrong answer.
Absolutely. The most important thing is to be honest with yourself and your ex about your feelings and intentions.
We hope this conversation has helped you explore the complexities of staying friends with an ex. Thanks for joining us today.